Amateur baseball is one of Minnesota's great sporting traditions. The state tournament brings together hundreds of communities in late summer at great ballparks all around the state. Coverage of every game can be found on PrepSpotlight.tv. PrepSpotlight.tv's coverage of today's state tournament game is made possible by the Minnesota Baseball Association, and also with help from the Minnesota Twins. Celebrate Town Ball with the Twins on September 11th. Visit twinsbaseball.com/townball for details. Now let's get to the ballpark.
Here we go, the Class A championship game coming up from Palm Field, St. Anthony Village. Steve Thompson, Dave McLaughlin, our camera operator, Andy Price, our executive producer. It is the 36th annual Class A state tournament. Final game, we had bright sunshine for both semifinals this afternoon, but the clouds have thickened up. There is a threat of rain later on. Air Freight Unlimited advanced to this championship game, beating the Minneapolis Angels last weekend 2-0. Then on Saturday, beat the Minnetonka Millers, a perennial power, 7-1, and then took down Baseball 365 12-6 in our first semifinal for Highland Park. They won their opener, beating the Minneapolis Mudcats 5-2. And they beat the St. Anthony Hawks 14-5 yesterday. And a moment ago, beat the St. Paul Capitals 6-3. We are ready to go. And Air Freight the visitor, and they will lead off with Jack Cook, the shortstop. And he looks at ball one. The starting pitcher, Jared Schmidt for the Highland Park Beavers. And that one towards second base. Alex Salim up, throw to first. A little wide, but in time. Cook retired 4-3. Schmidt, the starting pitcher, Zach Straighten behind the plate. Andy Devine at third, Max Salim at shortstop. His brother Alex at second base. And over at first base, Corey Ryder. First pitch carrying to right. Chandler Schaefbauer quickly 2 away. Schaefbauer a fly to right.
Catcher now number 60, Nate Pierce.
Corey Ryder, starting pitcher, goes the distance, gets the win in the semifinal victory over the St. Paul Capitals. And this will bring up Nate Pierce, the catcher, batting left-handed. Hacks one foul, and it's quickly strike one. In the outfield, Jake Fleming in left, Simon Hike in center, Matt Nelson in right for Highland Park. Towards second, Alex Salim gobbles it up, throws him out. Quick 1-2-3, top of the first. Air Freight quickly and quietly. Highland Park coming to bat here in the bottom of the first inning in this Class A championship game here on PrepSpotlight.tv.
Celebrate the end of the 2021 Town Ball season. Join your teammates, rivals, and ball fans from around the state at the Twins game on September 11th. Special ticket pricing for Town Ball players and fans. Salutes to the newly crowned champs and a very fun night at the ballpark. Order your tickets at twinsbaseball.com/townball and wear your town's team colors to Target Field on September 11th.
Highland Park getting ready to come to bat here in the bottom of the first inning. First, let's set Air Freight Unlimited defensively. Ben Meyer taking his warm-up tosses. Meyer from Woodbury. And on to St. Thomas. Behind the plate, Nate Pierce. Here's from Notre Dame Prep in Arizona. He's a Tommy. Where St. Thomas had that great run this year.
On the mound once again.
Kyle Halverson at third, Jack Cook at short, Chandler Schaefbauer at second, Tommy Cummings at first. And the outfield in left, Javier Simmons in center.
And leading off for the Beavers.
It'll be
Highland Park, the first baseman number 66, Corey Ryder.
Tommy Kohler in right. Leadoff hitter for Highland Park. Corey Ryder playing at first base. Ryder had a game earlier today. It was just terrific. There's one foul out of play, a 1-1. Ryder, starting pitcher, gets a complete game victory in the semifinals. Ryder at the plate, 4 for 5. And there's one down the line. Around first, he's looking at second base. Throw into second, not in time. A leadoff double for Ryder. And the Highland Park Beavers in business. So again, 4 for 5, all singles in the opening game victory. Pitched a complete game. And now Simon Hike in center field. A little bit about Hike in the semifinals that just ended a little bit earlier. 2 absolutely phenomenal catches in center field. 1 in right center, 1 in left field of the diving variety. So Ryder and Hike, a big part of that Highland Park victory in the semifinals. Meyer delivers. There's a strike. Outside corner, 1-1. Now 1-2. There's one that got lost for a moment under the catcher, Pierce. The runner wasn't able to advance. That's a leadoff double from Ryder. Hike still at the plate. Now count 2-2. Bottom of the first Class A title game. All St. Paul affair. 3 of the 4 teams from that St. Paul League. Highland Park now 17-13 overall. There's one outside. Air Freight Unlimited now 21-4. Three-two pitch. In on the hands over toward first. Cummings has it, 1 away. That brings up Max Salim, the shortstop.
Max Salim.
Salim, certainly a big factor in that first game. Had a couple of walks, a hit, RBI, run scored in that semifinal victory over the St. Paul Capitals. Josh Kubicek pitched the Capitals into the semifinals. That one fouled. Got it in on the hands, 1-1. Kubicek not available. Goes 13 innings a week ago in the first round. Then goes complete game last night to get him to the semifinals, but he wasn't available. He's on a little bit low, 2-1. Max Salim, the shortstop. Curveball towards second. Caught in the air onto second. Double play. 4-6 double play. And we played one. And we're scoreless here in the Class A Amateur Baseball Championship game from Palm Field, St. Anthony Village, here on PrepSpotlight.tv.
Nobody does high school sports like PrepSpotlight.tv. Your home for Minnesota State tournament action is also where you can find the best weekly action during the regular season in 2021. We make it easy to be a high school sports fan at PrepSpotlight.tv.
Now priced at $15 a piece. And all
what a change in the weather. Throughout the day, sunny, warm, breezy. And just as the second semifinal wrapped up, the clouds started to thicken. And now we're worried about potentially a little rain here at Palm Field for this championship game. Air Freight went 1-2-3 in the first. We'll see 4, 5, and 6. Tommy Cummings, Kyle Halverson, and Tom Kohler against the Highland Park starter, Jared Schmidt. And it is an all St. Paul affair. And, of course, the Minnetonka Millers have dominated things. Air Freight Unlimited made a trip to the championship game back in 09, losing to Minnetonka 20-5 in 09. Wondering when the last time it was all St. Paul. May have to go back to the 80s for that. Here's Cummings for Air Freight. Here's one towards second. Alex Salim up. He's got another putout, his third in the game already.
With one away, the third base.
Gonna bring up Kyle Halverson.
Kyle Halverson.
So again, you can hear that wind. Halverson looks at one inside from Schmidt. Earlier today, Halverson had a couple of walks and a run scored. Looks at ball 2-2-0. Halverson from Totino Grace, now at St. Thomas. Gap into left center on the run. I can't get to it. All the way to the fence. That'll be a one-out double for Halverson. First hit of the game for Air Freight Unlimited. And that'll bring up Tom Kohler, the right fielder, for Air Freight Unlimited, wearing red. Kohler had 2 doubles, an RBI, a run scored, 2 walks. And that wild victory over baseball 365, 12-6. They fell behind 5-1. They end up winning at 12-6 to get to the title game. Battle of St. Paul teams here in St. Anthony Village. Chopper foul, now 1-1. One away, runner at second. In the outfield, Fleming in left for Highland Park. Hike in center. Nelson in right. Just couldn't get to that one a moment ago. And it's a double to the wall and or the fence in left center. Pretty nice hitter's background here with the ivy on the center field fence and then pine trees and the flagpole. It's a good look. Scoreboard to the right of center field here at Palm Field. And then, of course, you can see the school over the right field fence. There's a foul. Look out in the on-deck circle. Evan Kolker. Count now 1-2. Top of inning number 2 in this Class A championship. Curveball, slap foul just outside of third. Count right along. Kohler, a cadet from St. Thomas Academy, then ended up at St. John's. His 4th year. Amateur ball. Schmidt checks the runner. Curveball high and tight. Look out, 2-2. Rushed him back. Rain caused problems Friday night for the B and C games at Waconia, Hamburg, and Chaska. This Class A tournament has not been marred by bad weather at all. Opening weekend terrific. Really good on Saturday and then good today, but clouds have moved in here tonight. Blowing away. Now 3-2. Tom Kohler, the right fielder for Air Freight Unlimited. Check of the runner. And here's one towards second on the line, caught by Salim. No chance for the double play. He had to range to his left, go to a knee and grab it. So Kohler lines out. And with Halverson still at second and 2 outs, that'll bring up Evan Kolker.
Evan Kolker.
Kolker had a 2 RBI single late in the game and helped break it open. There's a foul. Down the left field line, out of play over the bullpen. Kolker had a 3-hit game. Single in the second, single in the fifth, runs scored, and then the 2 RBI single in the ninth to help put it out of reach. Kolker, the DH, batting in the 7 spot. There's a strike outside edge by Schmidt. Schmidt played his high school ball at Henry Sibley. His 9th year with Highland Park. Getting the start here in the title game. Top of the zone. Just missing. Now 1 and 2. 2 outs here, top of the second. Inside and low. 2 and 2. In the semifinals, Air Freight in the third base dugout. Highland Park was in that third base dugout, so they didn't need to move. They just stayed put. So if you're keeping track of that sort of thing, the third base dugout lucky today in the semifinals. Both winners came out of that dugout here earlier today. Here comes a 3-2. Inside the walk. Air Freight took advantage of 12 walks in that first game. 12 walks by baseball 365. Now here's Simmons for Air Freight. Runners at first and second and 2 out. Javier Simmons. He gets hit. And now they're loaded. And the banner's going to be Dan Scallon, the center fielder.
Center fielder number 14, Dan Scallon.
Simmons had walked and scored a run in the first game. Actually walked twice. Now it's Scallon. This one drilled to the gap and down for a hit and through all the way to the fence. 1 run in, 2 runs in, throw to the infield. Simmons headed toward the plate. There's a play and he's out by a mile. Big collision there. But 2-run score on a double to the gap and right center field by Dan Scallon. And after 1.5, it's 2-0. Air Freight leading Highland Park here on PrepSpotlight.tv.
All summer long, you have gathered with friends, neighbors, and family at ball yards all across Minnesota.
Still going, gone, a home run.
Diamonds that decorate and help define hundreds of communities. Town Ball binds together our passion for baseball in our hometowns. And on September 11th, the cornerstone of Minnesota baseball, Target Field, will host a party for all those who play, watch, and support Town Ball. The Twins host the Royals at 6:10 p.m. Prior to the game, the newly crowned state amateur champs will be honored at the Town Ball Tavern and during a pregame ceremony. Wear your team colors and enjoy a special night at Target Field.
The 0-2 pitch. Strike three! Fairmont, state champions in 2020.
To the Fairmont Martins. They are your 2020.
For tickets to the Twins' Tip of the Cap to Town Ball on September 11th, visit twinsbaseball.com/townball.
Here we go to the bottom of the second. And here's Highland Park. Alex Lee, Matt Nelson, Andy Devine. 4, 5, and 6 for the Beavers as they trail 2-0. Pitch by Meyer, chopped to short. Throw a little wide, but in time. Remember, 6-3. That'll bring up Matt Nelson.
Right fielder number 18, Matt.
Alex Lee had a hit and a run scored. Now it brings up Matt Nelson. He had a 2 RBI single in the 8th to help Highland Park's cause. He'll bat here. There's one down low, ball 1. Mentioned Air Freight's pitcher Ben Meyer. Ground ball, gobbled up. Schaufauer throws him out. Quickly 2 away. That'll bring up Andy Devine, playing at third base for the Highland Park Beavers.
Andy Devine.
Devine was 1 for 4 in that first game. A couple of groundouts and a strikeout. A single coming in inning number 2. Devine playing at third base. Looks at a pitch outside edge. From Air Freight's Ben Meyer wearing number 34. It's again out of Woodbury. There's a pitch fouled out of play, well out of play. One and one now to Devine. There's a curveball strike. 1-2. One toward Power. He throws him out. Easy inning, 1-2-3. Highland Park goes quietly in the second. And after 2, Air Freight Unlimited leading the Highland Park Beavers here in the title game 2-0 on PrepSpotlight.tv.
Town Ball Tour. Head to the small towns and tell people what it's all about.
A lot of excitement. Weather is fantastic.
This place has been here since the early 80s.
This is a baseball town.
The town is here. The kids are here. It's safe. It's a wonderful environment. We certainly met some wonderful characters.
Thanks for joining us for another season of Fox 9's Town Ball Tour.
State amateur tournaments are now in full swing. The Class B and C tournaments play out over the next couple of weekends in Waconia, Chaska, and Hamburg. They got started this weekend. Get out and support your community, or if you just love the game of baseball, want to watch win or go home games at great venues, there's nothing like tournament time. If you can't make it to the games, PrepSpotlight.tv/townball has packages that will make watching all the venues very affordable. Enjoy the tournament at the park or on PrepSpotlight.tv/townball. Highland Park Beavers pitcher Jared Schmidt getting his warm-up tosses here as we get set to start the third inning. Cloudy and breezy on this Sunday evening. Still pleasant. And the top of the Air Freight Unlimited order as they try to tack on to their 2-0 lead. It'll be Cook, Schaefbauer, and Pierce. Cook from Cretin-Durham Hall. Now at Union in New York in his third year. Looks at ball 1. There's strike one. 1-1. Devine at third. Max Salim at short. Alex Salim at second. Here's one right back to the pitcher. Schmidt grabs it. Underhand toss to Ryder. And one away. So Cook, hard comebacker, but he is retired 1-3. That'll bring up
second baseman number 56,
Chandler Schaefbauer from O'Gorman and Sioux Falls. Now it's St. Thomas. He's 0 for 1, fly ball to right. Cook a moment ago. Another ground ball out. He's 0 for 2. Air Freight went down 1-2-3 quickly in the first. Here's one up high, 1-1 now. This one chopped to third. Devine grabs, throw across the diamond. Got him. Wasn't real hard hit. He had to wait for it. 5-3 on the putout, quickly 2 away. That'll bring up Nate Pierce. Pierce a ground out. Over to Alex Salim to end that first inning. That one fell to the screen. He was on it, but didn't get enough of it. Pierce, an RBI single in the fourth in the semifinals. 2 RBI double in the ninth. He had 3 hits overall in the ball game. That one fell to the screen. Now 0-2. 2 away, nobody aboard, top of the third. Air Freight leading it. Their runs coming an inning ago. 2 runs on 2 hits there. Both were doubles. Halverson had a double. Kohler walked. Simmons got hit by a pitch, and then Scallon roped the double for 2 RBI, and then Simmons thrown out at the plate to end the inning. That's where we stand now here, top of the third. The 1-2, 2 away, nobody on. Down in the dirt. Count even up 2-2. Tommy Cummings waiting in the on-deck circle, but there's another one slapped to the screen. He's hitting him hard, but the wrong way. So Schmidt's had him off balance. Another 2-2 coming up. This chop to first. Hop on the bag. And Ryder stays with it. That's a fine play. 3 unassisted. Boy, bad hop. And he hung in there. Air Freight still leads at 2-0. We'll go to the bottom of the third in a moment here on PrepSpotlight.tv. But first, let's check out some highlights from earlier. This one in the air to right, carrying deep, chasing that right fielder to the fence, over Olive's head. Runner around third, headed for home, throw to the plate, not in time. 2-2. Right back up the middle, into center field for a hit. 1 run coming to the plate, second run around third, headed for home, gets by the catcher. 1-2. This one hit in the air to right center. That caught by Simon Hike. What a catch. And they'll to tie it at 3. There's one slap to right center field by Matt Nelson. 1 run in. Another run headed to the plate. Highland Park leads it 5-3. Looked like he was going to drop for a hit, but it was caught by Hike. Here's one into left center field. Hike over, dives, robs him again! Oh my, what a catch! And as the bottom of the third, bottom third of the Highland Park order, Straighten, Sheehy, Fleming against Air Freight starter Ben Meyer. Nate Pierce is his catcher. First pitch, a little low, ball 1. Air Freight 2-2-0. On Park 1-0. There's a strike, 1-1. Straighton got on a couple of times in the semifinals, had a walk, got hit by a pitch, a couple of fly ball outs. Now it's 2-2. There's a swing and a miss and a strikeout. First of the game for Meyer. And that'll bring up Sheehy, the DH.
Designated hitter down, number 12, Pat Sheehy.
Sheehy hit into a couple of double plays, 0 for 4 in that game for Highland Park. Here's one toward first. Cummings grabs. He'll trot over. Easy out. Quickly 2 away, and that'll bring up the number 9 hitter, Jake Fleming, playing in left.
With 2 away, the left fielder, number 0, Jake Fleming.
Fleming in the semifinals. He struck out a couple of times and was 0 for 4. What's that, strike 1? So right now, Meyer dealing. Throwing strikes early. Here's one, a little sidearm toward third. Halverson charging on the run, throws a dart. Highland Park quickly retired. 3 up, 3 down. We played 3. Air Freight Unlimited leading in the title game 2-0 here on PrepSpotlight.tv.
What's special about high school sports? The passion. The excitement. The memories.
Down on 3 at the buzzer. Good! It's good! Du Bois wins it for the Rebels.
It's about impacting your community. Connecting your business to this audience. This is where your customers live, where they shop. This is their circle of life. This is where your business should be. Connect with your best potential customers. This is your invitation. Get in the game.
We move to the 4th. Jared Schmidt done with his warm-up tosses for Highland Park. For Air Freight here in the visitors' half of the 4th inning. Tommy Cummings, Kyle Halverson, Tom Kohler, 4, 5, and 6. Cummings had a ground out to lead off inning number 2. He's 0 for 1. For Schmidt, the Highland Park starter. That one fouled into the screen behind home plate. No strikeouts, a walk, and a hit batter. This one to short. Max Salim grabs on a hop. Throw to first in time. Cummings retired 6-3, 1 away, and that'll bring up Kyle Halverson.
Third baseman, number
Halverson had that double and scored a run in that second inning. First run of the ball game. Her ball outside, ball 1. Lights are on. There's a strike, 1-1. Not going to say it's chilly, but you can kind of feel what's in our future. 1-1. About a 58-footer. Now 2-1. 1 on, or I should say 1 out, nobody on. Here, top of the 4th. So a foul now, 2-2. Air Freight's hits, both doubles. This one ripped to third, stabbed by Devine. He'll go across the diamond and get him 5-3. Hard to hit ball, but right at him. And that'll bring up Tom Kohler.
Right fielder now, number 44, Tom Kohler.
Kohler, the right fielder, lined out in inning number 2. Good play there by the second baseman, Alex Salim for Highland Park. Went to his left, down to a knee, grabbed it. This one ripped into center field for a hit. Max Salim couldn't get to it. There's a solid single, third hit of the game for Air Freight. And that'll bring up Evan Kohler. Kohler had a walk, scored a run on that 2 RBI double by Dan Scallon in the second inning. Simmons thrown out at the plate to close out the inning. Runner at first, 2 out, first pitch. Just outside ball 1. A slapped well foul over toward the football stadium. And as I mentioned earlier today, saw a sign in front of the school here at St. Anthony. First football game a week from Thursday. State Fair starts this Thursday. Here's one towards second. Alex Salim up with it. They'll go to first. Well, the hit doesn't matter. They're 3.5. Air Freight Unlimited still leading Highland Park 2-0 here on PrepSpotlight.tv.
Nobody does high school sports like PrepSpotlight.tv. Your home for Minnesota State tournament action is also where you can find the best weekly action during the regular season in 2021. We make it easy to be a high school sports fan at PrepSpotlight.tv.
Leading off for the Beavers, first baseman number 66, Ryder.
Bottom of the fourth, Ryder leading it off. 1, 2, 3 in that Highland Park order. Then Hike and Salim. Ryder already ahead. Double to start things. He's had 5 hits today. 4 for 5 in the semifinals. Had that double to start. Complete game win as well. He has been the man for Highland Park. We're number 66 from Lakeville South. Now 1-1. Chopper toward third. Grabbed there by Halverson. Cross the diamond. Got him 5-3. One out. Nobody on. And the only out he made in the first game was 5-3 in the third inning. Now it's 5-3 in the fourth. How about that? Now it's Simon Hike, the center fielder. He popped out to first in the first and is 0 for 1. Hike once again defensively in the first game, just spectacular. We saw one of the highlights a moment ago. And 2 great catches, one in the gap in right center, one in the gap in left center. And they both robbed Dan Peterson in the 7th and then again in the 9th. The 0-2, high in the air, into foul ground toward the fence, hits the fence. Nobody could get there. Cummings made a run at it. Kohler made a run at it, but couldn't get to it. Eve for effort for both. And the count now 0-2. Good job by Ben Meyer so far. Has a strikeout more importantly, in my opinion, hasn't walked anybody. Giving up just the one hit. Little sidearm action, now 1-2. Really changes arm angles and speeds. Works in and out, up and down. That hit him. That one got away. Didn't want to hit him. I mean, that hit batter. So a runner on, one out here in the bottom of the fourth. That's going to bring up Max Salim, the shortstop. Salim lined into a double play.
Shortstop number 24, Max Salim.
Lined one to Schaefbauer. Schaefbauer caught it and then doubled up Ryder. First pitch, ball one. Runner takes his lead. Here's a strike. Meyer's not a real hard thrower, but really changes the looks and changes speeds. That one outside, now 2-1. Two, 3-0 for Air Freight. 1-0. Here's one towards short, tough hop. Cook grabs. Second for one, on to first, double play. Nifty double play. That had some side spin on it. But Cook turns it 6-4-3. And we have played 4, and it's still 2-0. Air Freight here on PrepSpotlight.tv.
Celebrate the end of the 2021 Town Ball season. Join your teammates, rivals, and ball fans from around the state at the Twins game on September 11th. Special ticket pricing for Town Ball players and fans. Salutes to the newly crowned champs and a very fun night at the ballpark. Order your tickets at twinsbaseball.com/townball and wear your town's team colors to Target Field on September 11th.
We head to the top of the fifth. Few sprinkles here at Palm Field. St. Anthony Village, site of this Class A state tournament. Championship game underway. And so Air Freight will send 8, 9, and 1 Simmons, Scallon, and Cook to the plate against and Highland Park starter Jared Schmidt. Straight in behind the plate, Devine at third. Max Salim at second. Or at short. Alex Salim at second. Corey Ryder over at first base. Here's Schmidt. Missing away, ball one. Right back to the pitcher. Caught head high, throw to first in time. Simmons retired 1-3. Now the batter, Dan Scallon. 2 RBI double in the second inning, and that's the difference in the ball game. Air Freight Unlimited batting in the visitors' half, the fifth. This one hit in the air to left. Fleming comes on. Did he get it? He did! Nice grab. And there's 2 away. Well, he came on and was able to keep it in the glove.
Order for Air Freight, shortstop number 12, Jack Cook.
Nice catch there by Fleming and left. And now it's Jack Cook, the leadoff man, 0 for 2. Ball one away, 1-0. Defending champ Minnetonka eliminated in the quarterfinals yesterday. Now there's a strike, 2-1. The forecast was a threat of rain would move in 9, 10 o'clock. We've had some sprinkles as the clouds continue to thicken up. 2-2 now the count. Nobody on, 2 out here, top of the 5th. Air Freight trying to add to their lead. This one through the hole into right field, a hit. Their 4th hit of the ball game, and it comes with 2 outs. Going to bring up Chandler Schaefbauer. He's 0 for 2 in this game.
Second baseman number 56.
Schaefbauer.
Chandler Schaefbauer.
Schaefbauer had a hit, 2 runs scored in the semifinals earlier today. In the sunshine, I should add. Looks at ball 1. Had a big lead over at first for that runner, Cook. Now Schaefbauer looks at ball 2. Down low, 3-0. Schmidt. Falling behind here with a runner on and 2 out here in this 5th inning. There's an off-speed pitch for a strike. Runner goes, that check swing foul. We'll redo it. 2 runs, 4 hits, no errors for Air Freight. No runs, 1 hit for Highland Park. Schmidt's pitch. Up high and a walk. Now runners at first and second with 2 out. The second walk given up by Schmidt. He hit a batter as well. A walk and hit batsman coming in the second inning where they scored 2. And now it's Pierce. He's 0 for 2. The Air Freight catcher slaps one in the air to left. Carrying deep. Fleming to the fence, to the wall. Gone! A 3-run home run for Pierce, and that ball just kept carrying and carrying over the fence. And Air Freight's opened it up here in the 5th. A 2-out, 3-run home run.
First baseman now number 46, Tommy Cummings.
Cook. Schaefbauer.
Oh, good try, Tommy.
And now the batter, Tommy Cummings. 0 for 2, couple of ground outs. Just like that, 5-0. That one just kept carrying and carrying. And this one hit high and deep to left. This one way out of here. 6-0 Air Freight. A bomb by Cummings. So Pierce and Cummings go back to back, and it's 6-0. They'll bring up Halverson. He had the double and run scored in the second. He's 1 for 2. There's a curveball. Inside ball 1. Pierce hit it well to get it over the fence. Cummings hammered that one. There's a strike, 2-1. The damage comes with 2 outs. Single to Cook. Walk to Shapebauer. 3-run homer by Pierce, solo home run by Cummings. 6-0. Continue to feel some sprinkles here at Palm Field. There's a curveball inside. 3-2. Activity down in that Highland Park bullpen to our left. 3-2 on the way. This one hit high in the air into right field. Nelson coming on, but it's a second baseman. Alex Salim making the play. Halverson flies out. A 3-run homer by Pierce, a solo shot by Cummings, 6-0. Air Freight after 4.5 here on PrepSpotlight.tv.
All summer long, you have gathered with friends, neighbors, and family at ball yards all across Minnesota.
Still going, gone, a home run.
Diamonds that decorate and help define hundreds of communities. Town Ball binds together our passion for baseball in our hometowns. And on September 11th, the cornerstone of Minnesota baseball, Target Field, will host a party for all those who play, watch, and support Town Ball. The Twins host the Royals at 6:10 p.m. Prior to the game, the newly crowned state amateur champs will be honored at the Town Ball Tavern and during a pregame ceremony. Wear your team colors and enjoy a special night at Target Field.
The 0-2 pitch. Strike 3! Fairmont, state champions in 2020.
Congratulations to the Fairmont Martins. They are your 2020.
For tickets to the Twins' Tip of the Cap to Town Ball on September 11th, visit twinsbaseball.com/townball.
Here's Alex Salim down the line for a hit. First pitch, and he's going to head into second with a stand-up double to lead it off for Highland Park. They're down 6-0, and they get the fifth started in the right way. The double right down the line. Halverson gave it a go, couldn't get to it.
Right fielder now, number 18.
And now it's Matt Nelson. So Salim now 1 for 2. This is the second hit. Both have been doubles for Highland Park. Nelson looks at a pitch just outside. Nelson a ground out. In inning number 2, he's 0 for 1. Ben Meyer's pitch. Down low, 2-0. There's one up in the zone, 3-0. Andy Devine waiting on deck. So 4, 5, and 6 for Highland Park here in the bottom of the fifth. There's a strike, 3-1. Down by 6, Nelson taking all the way for sure. It's the first time since they've gone. There's a walk inside. So the double, now the walk. Runners at first and second. Nobody out here in the bottom of the fifth. That's going to bring up Andy Devine playing at third base. Devine 0 for 1. Our executive producer, Andy Price, told me that since it went to 3 classes in amateur baseball, the A, B, and C scenario, the 2 St. Paul teams have met for the Class A title. This one outside, ball 1. First Class A, Minnetonka. One of the teams that just dominated. 1-0 inside, now 2-0. So Meyer having a little trouble with his control here in the fifth. After his team put up was for his spot, a 3-run shot and a solo shot. Now he'll step off. There's one outside now, 3-0. The wind has really died down here in the fifth. Had a pretty good breeze all day. As the clouds have thickened up, the winds have dropped. 3-0, he finds his own 3-1. Taken all the way was Devine. And an at-bat ago, Matt Nelson taking on 3-0. There's a strike. Oh, Devine didn't think so. The home plate umpire thought otherwise. And now it's 3-2. Devine thought it was high and outside, but three, 2, swing and a miss and a strikeout. Well, strikeout number 2 for Meyer.
Catcher now number 6.
And now with runners at first and second and one out, Zach Straighten, the catcher. He struck out to start the third. Meyer hit him. Now they're loaded. So Salim the double. The walk to Nelson. Now Straighten hit by a pitch. And that'll bring up the DH Pat Sheehy. He's had a tough day. And now we're going to get a conference between the catcher Pierce and the pitcher Meyer. And it has been a little bit of a struggle for Meyer with his control. No activity on that air freight bullpen down the right field line. There is activity in that Highland Park bullpen. And Moyne throwing down in that Highland Park bullpen down to our left. There's ball 1. To the DH Sheehy. Inside 2-0. They're loaded here in the bottom of the fifth with one out. Highland Park looking for a run. There's a strike, 2-1. There's a little chopper cut off by the third baseman. Halverson on the run, throws him out. Run scores. Runners move up to second and third. Sheehy retired. 5-3.
Left fielder now.
Gets an RBI there. Alex Salim scores from third. Nelson moves up to third. Straightened down to second. And with 2 away, the batter Jake Fleming, the right fielder. We're going to get a pinch runner here for Highland Park. Mitch Maurer comes in.
Second base, number 10, Mitch Maurer.
Straighten, the catcher, will come in and get the gear on. So Maurer down at second, the pinch runner. 6-1 ball game. Big swing and a miss by Fleming. And hit him. They're loaded again. Second hit batter this inning. And now we go to the top of the order. And a guy they certainly didn't want to see with them loaded is Corey Ryder playing at first base. Ryder went 4 for 5 in the first game, is 1 for 2 as a double. And this guy is big time dangerous. So Ryder could really make Ben Meyer an air freight pay here. Let's see this battle. The wind almost non-existent. The pitch, curveball, smashed to third, knocked down by Halverson. Doesn't get it. Throw to first. Gets the out anyway. Oh. Ryder stung it. Halverson nabbed it and threw him out. And Highland Park gets a run. Could have been more. And after 5, it's 6-1 air freight here on PrepSpotlight.tv.
Nobody does high school sports like PrepSpotlight.tv. Your home for Minnesota State tournament action is also where you can find the best weekly action during the regular season in 2021. We make it easy to be a high school sports fan at PrepSpotlight.tv.
Got some raindrops here as we move to inning number 6. Air Freight leading at 6-1. Some of the fans who were sitting beyond the dugouts in the open air have moved into the grandstand area. Hasn't been raining hard, but enough to wet the pavement around the grandstand here at Palm Field. So again, the winds have died down.
For the Beavers, number 9, Adam Owen.
Adam Owen is going to pitch for Highland Park out of the bullpen in relief of Jared Schmidt.
Tom Kohler.
And now for Air Freight here in the 6th. Tom Kohler, Evan Kolker, and then Simmons. So 6, 7, and 8. Put up 4 big runs. 3-run homer by Pierce last inning. Solo homer by Cummings. Strike 1, ball 1 to Kohler. Kohler 1 for 2, had that single in the 4th. There's a curveball, 2-1. Owen from Conrad, Montana. Then McAllister stayed in town. Been around for 14 years. So from Montana to McAllister and called it home. 2-2 now. There's a curveball up high. 3-2. Couldn't get that one to break. Three, 2 pitch. Oh, there's a curveball, strike 3. A lot of break on that one. It was a beauty. Kohler retired. His first strikeout.
Designated hitter number 61, Evan Kolker.
And the first for Highland Park pitching. And now it's Evan Kolker walking the 2nd, run scored, grounded out in the 4th. This one toward short. Salim gobbles it up, throws him out. 2 away, and that'll bring up Simmons.
Left fielder number 31, Javier Simmons.
Javier Simmons from Park and St. Thomas. 5th year with Air Freight. Simmons got hit by a pitch. Also grounded back to the pitcher in the 5th. Here's one laced into the gap in left center field. That's down for a hit, and will roll all the way to the fence. Extra bases for Simmons with 2 outs. That is a double. And for Simmons,
Center fielder number 14, Dan Scallon.
first hit of the day. And that was a double. And now it's Dan Scallon. Scallon has a 2 RBI double. That plated the first 2 runs for Air Freight in the 2nd. And he was robbed on a phenomenal diving catch by Fleming in left. So a chance for Air Freight to pad the lead here in the top of the 6th, leading at 6-1. 6 runs, 7 hits, no errors. For Highland Park, 1 and 2. No errors. Curveball strike. Owen, that's a good curveball. He showed it off there. Owen won the count to the number 9 hitter for Air Freight, Dan Scallon. Now it's 0-2. So just barely got the end of the bat on that one. You got to think about the catchers who've caught both ends of this. Straighten for Highland Park and Pierce for Air Freight. At least Pierce got a little time off. Highland Park just back-to-back games. That's a lot of work for Straighten. There's another curveball missing outside. Catcher involved in every pitch, every play. 1-2. Throw down to second behind the runner. Throw was a little short, so Max Salim had to kind of run that one down. Now 2-2. 2 away, runner at second. That was a 2-0 double by Simmons that found the fence in left center field. Hit it hard. Hike couldn't get to it from center field. Fleming couldn't get to it from left field.
Here we go, Dad. Here we go. Give me, yeah. Here we go, 1-4.
Scallon awaits a 2-2. Big swing and a miss on the curveball. Second strikeout of the inning. So the double all for naught. We played 5.5. Air Freight Unlimited leading Highland Park 6-1 in the Class A title game here on Prep Spotlight.tv.
Celebrate the end of the 2021 Town Ball season. Join your teammates, rivals, and ball fans from around the state at the Twins game on September 11th. Special ticket pricing for Town Ball players and fans. Salutes to the newly crowned champs and a very fun night at the ballpark. Order your tickets at twinsbaseball.com/townball and wear your town's team colors to Target Field on September 11th.
We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Highland Park will send 2, 3, and 4. Simon Hike, Max Salim, and Alex Salim. Their run came an inning ago. Salim led off with a double and finally scored. They have just 2 hits in the ball game against Ben Meyer. Meyer fought his control a little bit
Center fielder
in the
20,
5th inning,
Simon Hike.
but was able to limit the damage. So here's Hike. Got hit by a pitch in the 4th. First pitch to him, down low, ball 1, 1-0. St. Paul battle for the title here. Don't forget our coverage continues the next 2 weekends. PrepSpotlight.tv/townball for the Class B and Class C. A little chopper toward short. Cook charges. Quick throw. Got him. Good play. 6-3. No errors in the ball game. We've seen really solid defense. And there's an example. Now Max Salim.
Shortstop number 24.
Lined into a double play in the 1st. And then grounded into a double play in the 4th. Salim, veteran shortstop. RBI ground out in the 1st game. Looks at strike 1 there. And a single and a run scored in that 1st game. Here's Salim hitting one in the air to right. Kohler grabs it, quickly 2 away. Now it's Alex Salim. Hit the double and run scored an inning ago. He's 1 for 2. He's 1 of 2 hits for Highland Park.
34, Alex Salim.
Highland Park beat the St. Paul Capitals 6-3 in the 2nd semifinal. Earlier, Air Freight Unlimited doubled up baseball 365, 12-6. They fell behind in that game 5-1 and then roared back to win it. They took advantage of 12 walks. 1-0 pitch. There's a strike 1-1. Now, certainly Ben Meyer settled down here in the 6th inning after a bumpy 5th. They only gave up a run. 1-1 pitch. Up high, 2-1. Light rain falling. Into center field. Coming on. Making the catch is Scallon. Yes. Good play. Coming. Got to it. Highland Park goes 3 up, 3 down. We have played 6. It's 6-1 in the Class A Amateur Baseball Championship game here on PrepSpotlight.tv.
Town Ball Tour. Head to the small towns and tell people what it's all about.
A lot of excitement. Weather is fantastic.
This place has been here since the early 80s.
This is a baseball town.
The town is here, the kids are here, it's safe, it's a wonderful environment. We certainly met some wonderful characters.
Thanks for joining us for another season of Fox 9's Town Ball Tour.
I got a light rain falling here at Palm Field, St. Anthony Village. Final game of this Class A state tournament, the championship game. We're moving to the top of the 7th inning. Adam Owen pitching now for Highland Park in relief of Jared Schmidt. And he will face the top of the air freight order. Cook, Schaefbauer, and Pierce. These guys have done a little damage. Cook, 1 for 3, had a single in the 5th. Eventually scored on the 3-run home run by Pierce. Now here's Cook. Ground out in the 1st. Grounded back to the pitcher in the 3rd. Jack Cook. From Cretin-Durham Hall, like I say, went out to Union. First pitch here. Right in the air to right field. Going back and over the head of the right fielder, Nelson, and to the fence. That'll be a leadoff double here in the 7th for Cook. That'll bring up Schaefbauer.
Second baseman now.
Schaefbauer walked.
Chandler, Schaefbauer.
He scored ahead of Pierce on the 3-run home run in the 5th. 0 for 2. Fly ball to right in the 1st. Grounded to 3rd in the 3rd. Curveball strike. Ryan has a good curveball, and he showed it off. And a couple of strikeouts an inning ago. This one in on his hands, fouled away, 0-2. The rain has let up a little bit. Kind of looking at some of the folding chairs. Breeze really let up. That's keeping us dry here under the roof in the grandstand. 0-2 pitch, outside 1-2. Leadoff double for Cook here in the 7th. As Air Freight looking for more. This one to hit in the air to right field. That falls in front of the right fielder, Nelson. Gets by him. Runner around 3rd. He's headed to score. Schaefbauer, an RBI double, and it's 7-1. Cook scores easily from second base.
Catcher now number 60.
And now Nate Pierce, the catcher. 3-run homer in the 5th. There was a fly ball that just kept carrying and over the fence. And now Highland Park, they're going to talk about it. There is activity down in the bullpen. There is a left-hander warming up. That is Jordan Black. So, conference over. Ryan's going to stay in the game. 7 runs, 9 hits, no errors. With nobody out here in the top of the 7th for Air Freight. Highland Park, 1 run, just 2 hits. Pierce digs in. There's a curveball strike. Got a good curveball. I think it looked like it was going to be high and wide by a foot. There's a missing outside. 1-1. Air Freight in the title game for the first time since 09. This one slap foul, now 1-2. Number 3 hitter, Nate Pierce. Tommy Cummings waiting on deck. Pierce and Cummings go back-to-back home runs in the 5th. Hit high in the air. Down the right field line. Nelson back toward the fence, makes the catch. Runner will tag from second and move up to third base. Pierce hit it hard, but in the park.
First baseman number 46.
But now with one away and a runner at third base. The batter is Tommy Cummings. Cummings, that long home run to left center field. He hammered that ball. Curveball strike 1. Black continues to throw down in that Highland Park bullpen. Another curveball strike at the letters. 0-2. Back-to-back doubles. Cook and Schaefbauer giving Air Freight a run here in the 7th. Now we got a timeout called.
Here we go, Tommy. You got this, bud. Here we go. You got this, Tommy. Here we go. Come on, Tommy.
0-2 curveball, fouled out of play. Count right along. Fouled on the right field line. Off the end of the bat. And continues at 0-2 here in the top of the 7th. Runner at third, 1 out. A run in. Air Freight 2 in the 2nd, 4 in the 5th, now 1 in the 7th. There's a curveball, a little flare into right. Coming on is Nelson. Can't get it, falls in. That'll be an RBI single for Cummings. And it's now 8-1. Schaefbauer scores easily from third. He had to wait for a moment before he broke for the plate. And now Kyle Halverson. He had a double and a run scored in the 2nd. He's 1 for 3. Strike 1. Throw down to first. Runner gets back. Handcuffed Ryder at first. He had to just kind of knock that down. I think he was expecting that throw from Straighten. Big thanks to everybody here at St. Anthony Village, Palm Field. Putting a lot of work. 8 games last weekend. 7 this weekend, 4 on Saturday, 3 today, 2 semifinals, and a championship game. And they did a good job. Field's in great shape. Ryder at first, 1 out, 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss, Halverson.
Kyle, bring him in, yeah.
Long look and a curveball hit high in the air. Outside of third baseman out, makes the catch. Devine hangs in there as the breeze picks up again.
Here we go, boys. Get break.
Now with two away, and that runner still at first base, it's Tom Kohler.
Kohler.
Kohler 1 for 3. Lined out to second in the second. His single came in the fourth, and then he struck out looking in the sixth. Adam Moyen was on the mound. Moyen's pitch, smashed to third and caught. Devine stabs that line drive. And that's it. 2 runs across, though, for Air Freight, top of the seventh. They now lead it 8-1. Stretch time here in the Class A title game at Palm Field. Here on Prep Spotlight.tv.
Concession stands are still open. Gatorades are half price. If you're thirsty.
What's special about high school sports? The passion. The excitement. The memories.
Down on 3 at the buzzer. Good! It's good! DuBois wins it for the Rebels.
It's about impacting your community. Connecting your business to this audience. This is where your customers live, where they shop. This is their circle of life. This is where your business should be. Connect with your best potential customers. This is your invitation. Get in the game.
Here we go to the bottom of the seventh inning. Highland Park needs some runs. Down 8-1 here in the championship game. Nelson, Devine, and Straighton 5, 6, and 7 for the Beavers. There's one down in the dirt, blocked there by Pierce. Ben Meyer pitching well, giving up a run on just 2 hits. That run coming in the fifth. Got in the hot water, struggled with his control. A hit, a walk, couple of hit batters, but he only gave up the run. 2-0 pitch, chop foul, 2-1. And that's the old barking dog off Nelson's foot. Just very light rain, and when we were getting the more steady rain, there was absolutely no breeze. And now we're getting a bit more of a breeze. You can see the trees out and left starting to flutter in the wind. Flags starting to move a little bit in straightaway center field. Once again, we've never had a downpour. 2-1 pitch, down in the dirt, 3-1. And for Meyer, 8-1 lead here in the bottom of the seventh. Job 1 throw strikes. Here's a 3-1. That is fouled. 3-2. No freebies with a 7-run lead late. 3-2 goes sidearm, strikes him out. Good pitch. It's his third strikeout, but that was a beauty. Changed the arm angle and fooled him. Now it's Devine. He's 0 for 2. Ground out in the second, strikeout in the fifth.
Devine.
Can hear that breeze again. And our microphones here at Palm Field. 1-1. Swing and a miss, now 1-2. I kind of liked it with the no wind. We had 2 ball games where it was at times really windy. I'm glad I brought a lot of tape today. 1-2. That one fouled out of play. Never a gale, but to the point where it was breezy enough where I had to tape things down. One-two pitch on the way. That slap foul to the screen. Just got a piece of it. Zach Straighten, the catcher, waiting on deck. Highland Park trying to get something going here against Ben Meyer. Curveball toward first. Cummings grabs. Quickly 2 away. Didn't get much on it. And Myers just kept him off balance for the most part all night. Now here's Straighten. He got hit by a pitch in the 5th. Struck out back in the 3rd.
Zach Straighten.
Straighten, one of those catchers I talked about. Pearson, Straighten. Sleep well tonight. First pitch, fouled out of play. Let's see, the darkest clouds south of here. The 0-1. Outside 1-1. We did have enough rain to get the pavement wet, get the grass wet. There's one upstairs, 2-1. And this week looks unsettled. Some warmer weather moving in, but a chance of thunderstorms as well. There's a swing and a miss, 2-2. We don't want rain at the moment, but I think we'd all settle for some more rain overnight with as dry as it's been. Trout, this one slap foul. That'll get out of play over the fence. Cummings gives it a look, but no chance. 2-2 the count, 2 out. Nobody on here, bottom of the 7th inning. And Air Freight Unlimited in control of this Class A title game, leading 8-1 here in the bottom of the 7th. Ben Meyer, the starter. There's a pitch, a big swing and a miss. Strikes out 2. Gets Highland Park 1-2-3 in the 7th. 7 in the books. It's 8-1 Air Freight Unlimited here on PrepSpotlight.tv.
Celebrate the end of the 2021 Town Ball season. Join your teammates, rivals, and ball fans from around the state at the Twins game on September 11th. Special ticket pricing for Town Ball players and fans. Salutes to the newly crowned champs and a very fun night at the ballpark. Order your tickets at twinsbaseball.com/townball and wear your town's team colors to Target Field on September 11th.
New pitcher on the mound for Highland Park. It'll be Jordan Black. We talked about him warming up in the bullpen. So Jordan Black, 3rd pitcher to work for Highland Park. Schmidt, then Oyen, the curveball artist. Now it's Black, the left-hander. And he will take the top of the 8th inning. Trying to keep Air Freight at bay. Air Freight, 2 in the 2nd, 4 in the 5th. A 3-run homer in the solo shot. Pierce and Cummings go back to back. They had 2 in the 7th and lead at 8-1. Well, Black comes on, still behind the plate, straightened. Left, he'll get one more warm-up toss. So 7, 8, 9, Kohler, Simmons, and Scallon. Once again, 7, 8, 9 for Air Freight Unlimited here in the top of the 8th inning.
And leading off the top half of the 8th,
Once again, they appeared in the title game in 09. They got beat. Here they are again in 2021. Kohler had a walk and a run scored in the second. A couple of ground outs since. Here's one smashed, just foul. He turned on it, but just foul. By about 4 or 5 feet down the right field line. You can see in the lights out and left. You look up in the lights, light rain falling. There's a curveball strike, 0-2. Light rain here at Palm Field. The 0-2, a curveball lined into left center field. That's down for a hit. That's headed for the gap. It's cut off. Heading in for second with a leadoff double is Evan Kohler. And then that throw gets all the way through, but he'll stay put. So Kohler, leadoff double in the 8th. And Air Freight Unlimited right back at it. Xavier Simmons will come up. Simmons had a double with 2 outs in the 6th. He also got hit by a pitch tonight. He also has a ground out back to the pitcher. He's been on base a couple of times, has an extra base hit. 11 hits now for Air Freight. There's one outside. Air Freight, #1 seed coming in out of the St. Paul League. At the moment, 20-4. Trying to get to 21 and a title. Black's pitch up high, 2-0. Steady rain, but we're dry under the roof here of this grandstand behind home plate. I'm thankful for that. Right back at us. 2-1 the count. As we mentioned, not a lot of foul territory. If you're in the grandstand over on the third base side or behind home plate, you are close to the action. It's a great view. And other than the 10 a.m. starts here for the Class A, otherwise you're in the shade. 2-1 pitch coming up from Black. Curveball just missing, 3-1. Waiting on deck, Dan Scallon. Scallon has a 2 RBI double back in the second inning, so been getting production all over the lineup. 3-1. Right back up the middle into center field, a base hit. Kohler around third, headed for the plate. Throw won't be anywhere in time. It's cut off by Ryder. RBI single for Simmons. And it's now 9-1. Air Freight Unlimited. They're hitting shoes on tonight. 12th hit of the ball game.
Center fielder number 14, Dan Scallon.
Scallon, as I mentioned, had that 2 RBI double in the second. Robbed out and left by Fleming in the 5th and then struck out in the 6th. It's at strike 1. Runner at first, still nobody out. Back-to-back hits, the double and the single. Kohler and Simmons plates another run. There's a curveball up high. Air Freight Unlimited retired 1, 2, 3 just twice in the game, in the 1st and the 3rd. Black's 1-1, hit high in the air. Right up the chimney. Straighten, waits for it, catches it. Steering right up into the rain. Hangs in there. Not a pouring rain, but enough to be a distraction and makes a play.
Shortstop now,
but now with 1 out, we go to the top of the order. And Jack Cook. Cook a single, a double, 2 runs scored, 2 for 4 tonight. Single in the 5th, a double in the 7th. Runner still at first and 1 away. 0-1. Fouled off, now 0-2. And we play on in the light rain. Good news, no lightning. Can play in this. This one lined in the left for a hit. 13th hit in the ball game for Air Freight. And our runners at first and second. And that's going to bring up Chandler Schaefbauer. Schaefbauer walked and scored on the 3-run homer in the 5th. Then had a RBI double in the 7th. He's been active tonight. Once again, production up and down this Air Freight lineup here in the championship game tonight. Jordan Black will deliver. That one in the dirt. Ball 1. At times today, between games, they'd water down the infield. And at times this afternoon, it was sunny, it was dry, and the gusty winds would kick up some dust. Well, that's not a factor anymore. Flag in center field hanging limp. Some of the trees out in left, hardly a breeze anymore. So the wind has died down quite a bit from the semifinals this afternoon. Schaefbauer, the Sioux Falls native, heading the count 2-0 at the plate. Black, third pitcher to work for Highland Park. 2-0. Hit high in the air. And that's going to get into foul territory over the fence down the first base line. 2-1. Big thanks again to Dave McLaughlin, our camera operator. Andy Price, our executive producer. Everybody at PrepSpotlight.tv behind the scenes, getting all these amateur baseball games. And then, of course, high school coverage begins in earnest in short order. Scheduled to be announced very shortly. 3-1 now the count. That one misses outside and low. Trying to keep Simmons close at second base. Simmons at second, Cook down at first. And there's a walk. And now they're loaded.
With one away, the catcher.
Simmons goes to third, Cook to second. Schaefbauer down at first via the walk, and this will bring up Nate Pierce, the catcher. Hit the 3-run bomb in the 5th. And that put Air Freight well on their way, and then he was followed up by Cummings, and an even longer home run to left, a solo shot. Here's one driven in the air to left center field, carrying deep. On a hop over the fence. That'll be a ground rule double. 2 runs will score to make it 11-1. He put a charge into that one. So Pierce,
First baseman, number
the
46,
2 RBI ground rule double. Simmons scores from third. He trots home. Cook scores from second. Schaefbauer has to stop at third. Pierce down at second, still 1 away, and it's 11-1. And now it's Cummings.
Oh, Tommy!
Cummings looks at a curveball. Cummings 2 for 4, the solo homer in the 5th, and then the RBI single in the 7th. This one hit high and foul, out of play. 1-1 now the count. Pierce, the 3-run homer, the ground rule 2 RBI double. What a game for Pierce, the Air Freight catcher. Catching his second game of the day and getting it done at the plate here in the title game. What a night for Pierce. 1-1 pitch, down low. Pierce out of Notre Dame Prep in Arizona, now a Tommy in his third year. I think a kid from Arizona would like a cool rainy night in Minnesota, but he's worn it well. That one skips by the catcher, and the runners don't advance in an 11-1 ball game. Schaefbauer stays at third. Pierce down at second. Cummings still at the plate. 3-1 now the count. Still only one away here in the top of inning number 8. Big cut, came up empty. 3-1. There was only one 10-run rule game in 8 innings. That came yesterday. Right now, Air Freight up by 10. Down in the dirt and a walk, and they're loaded again. Black having all sorts of troubles here. And now it's Kyle Halverson. Actually, we're going to get a pinch hitter for Air Freight. Murphy Lynch from St. Thomas Academy. Now it's Johnny. Lynch is going to pinch hit.
Batting now number 22, Murphy Lynch.
So it's going to be Lynch. Pinch hitting here in the top of the 8th inning. 8th man to bat for Air Freight Unlimited. Looks at ball 1. They're loaded with 1 out. Up high, 2-0. Schaefbauer at third. Pierce at second. Cummings down at first. Now 3-0. Four-pitch walk there. Lynch gets a walk. Brings Schaefbauer in from third. Pierce moves up to third. Cummings down to second. And now the 9th man to bat. Looks like it's going to be another announced pinch hitter. JT Engswick was going to be announced. 12-1 the score. Air Freight leading Highland Park here in the 8th. Engswick's going to bat. He pitched in the semifinals earlier. There's strike 1. 12 runs, 14 hits, no errors. For Air Freight, 1-2-0 for Highland Park. Black's pitch, just foul. For Air Freight, 2 in the 2nd, 4 in the 5th, 2 in the 7th, now 4 again in the 8th. 12-1 ball game. 0-2 outside, 1-2. There's a curveball, strike 3. Big curveball locked him up. They're still loaded with 2 outs.
Batting now number 21, Jack Schwitz.
Waits to bat. Pinch hitting for Kohler. Batting here in the 8th, 12-1. There's a curveball. That is a strike. Jack Schweitz. Matamidi. Thomas St. Thomas. 0-1. Hit falling on a play to the right. 0-2 now the count. 2 away, still loaded for Air Freight. They blew this game open in the 5th, and they've kept the pedal to the metal. Looks like the rain has stopped for a moment. Very light rain up in the lights, very light. There's a ball, 1-2. That one slap foul out of play. Schweitz stays alive. Count rides along at 1-2. Called strike 3. That's it. 4 runs across for Air Freight in the top of the 8th. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th. And Highland Park needs to rally to keep this game going. Air Freight leading this Class A championship game 12-1 here on PrepSpotlight.tv.
The Town Ball Tour. Head to the small towns and tell people what it's all about.
A lot of excitement. Weather is fantastic.
This place has been here since the early 80s.
This is a baseball town.
The town is here. The kids are here. It's safe. It's a wonderful environment. We certainly met some wonderful characters.
Thanks for joining us for another season of Fox 9's Town Ball Tour.
We'll go to the bottom of the 8th inning, and Highland Park needs to rally. They're down by 11. They're in 10-run rule danger, trailing 12-1. And what a pitching performance. Been so much focus on Air Freight and what they've done with the bats. 12 runs on 14 hits. A couple of home runs here tonight. But starting pitcher Ben Meyer from Woodbury pitched a dandy, giving up just 2 hits. He had a bumpy 5th inning. Was able to dance out of that, giving up just a run. He gave up the leadoff double to Alex Salim. Walked 1, hit a couple of batters, but only gave up 1 run. And that's been it. Gave up a leadoff double to Corey Ryder to start the game. That didn't hurt him. Got a double play. So 1 run on 2 hits. And now we got a pinch hitter for Highland Park.
Highland Park, number 21, Jimmy Siggins.
Jimmy Siggins going to pinch hit for Sheehy. There's ball 1. So Siggins gets a chance from St. Paul Central in his first year here. Looks at 1 down low, 2-0. So Meyer trying to finish it off. 11-run lead here in the 8th. There's a swing and a miss. Good pitch. Once again, just done a great job changing speeds. Late rain continues to fall. 2-1 pitch. This one towards second, caught. Schaefbauer flags it down, soft liner. And now it's Jake Fleming scheduled to bat, and he will bat. Left fielder Jake Fleming. 0-for-1, got hit by a pitch in the 5th. First pitch hit high in the air to right center field, coming over. And making the pitch, Scallon, 2 away. Scallon had to run a long way into right field to run that one down, but Dan Scallon hung in there and made the play. And now 2 away and nobody aboard. Highland Park down to their final out. Corey Ryder playing down at first base. Had that leadoff double. Since then, a couple of ground outs to third. He hammers one high in the air to center field. Scallon back, has it measured. That's it! Air Freight Unlimited, your Class A state champions. They win their 21st game of the year. They dominate the championship game. 12 runs, 14 hits, no errors. Highland Park has their season come to a close on a run and just 2 hits. Ben Meyer, the winning pitcher, goes 8 innings to get it.
Of Air Freight Unlimited, 12 in the Highland Park Beavers, 1.
Nate Pierce, a 3-run home run, a ground rule 2 RBI double. Tommy Cummings, a long home run. He had an RBI single in the 7th. They get production up and down the order. And Air Freight Unlimited wins the state championship in convincing fashion at home field here in St. Anthony Village, 12-1. And these teams exchange handshakes, and we're going to hang in there for an awards ceremony. Once again, a big thanks to Andy Price, our executive producer, and the folks with St. Anthony Baseball, our gracious hosts. They played through a light rain here tonight. They're able to get the ball game in. And Air Freight Unlimited, the number 1 seed out of the St. Paul League, wins the Battle of St. Paul tonight. Ben Meyer, starting pitcher and winner. And Nate Pierce, a 3-run bomb, a ground rule double, and 5 RBI. The hitting hero tonight for Air Freight Unlimited. They're going to celebrate, and then some will head back to work, and some will head to college here in the fall. We'll have an awards ceremony, and we'll turn it over to the PA announcer here at Palm Field momentarily. We'd like to thank you for tuning in here on PrepSpotlight.tv throughout the Class A tournament. Final at 8, 12-1. Don't forget our Class B and Class C coverage continues yet tonight and the next 2 weekends. Waconia the anchor, Hamburg and Chaska also hosting games. And we are going to get that brief award ceremony. Dusty Wilhelmi, the manager, 21 years in amateur baseball. We have the trophy on the field. You can see it there.
Well, thank you, everyone, for joining us at the 2021 Class A State Tournament here at Palm Field. First, we'd like to honor the runner-ups of the 2021 State Tournament. Big congratulations to all the efforts in both teams, but especially the Highland Park Beavers. And now, to congratulate the 2021 Class A State Champions, Air Freight Unlimited. Congratulations, Air Freight. And now for some personal performance awards. We'll start with the Mike Downs Award for the best pitcher. And that goes to Graham Lepsher. And now for the Max Betts Maple Slugger, the award goes to Tommy Cummings. Congratulations, Tommy. And now, the winner of the most valuable player, the Patrick Homer Holmes MVP, Graham Lepsher. Congratulations to both teams. This concludes the 2021 Class A State Tournament. On behalf of myself, the St. Anthony Baseball Association, Class A State Baseball, thank you everyone for all the efforts for the state tournament, and congratulations to Air Freight Unlimited.
There it is. Air Freight Unlimited claims the title in 2021. In a light rain at Palm Field in St. Anthony Village. 12 runs, 14 hits, no errors. Highland Park, 1 run, 2 hits, and no errors. Big thanks to everyone here at St. Anthony. Big thanks to our executive producer, Andy Price, Dave McLaughlin, our camera operator. I'm Steve Thompson. Once again, our final score, Air Freight wins it, beating Highland Park 12-1. Good night from St. Anthony.
Are still open. Last call.
Amateur baseball is one of Minnesota's great sporting traditions. The state tournament brings together hundreds of communities in late summer at great ballparks all around the state. Coverage of every game can be found on PrepSpotlight.tv. PrepSpotlight.tv's coverage of today's state tournament game is made possible by the Minnesota Baseball Association, and also with help from the Minnesota Twins. Celebrate Town Ball with the Twins on September 11th. Visit twinsbaseball.com/townball for details. Now let's get to the ballpark.